there, plant friends! I'm Lily from Golden Garden Moments, and if you've ever looked at your orchid, sighed, and whispered, "Why won't you bloom?" this video is for you. I've been there, watching leaf after leaf grow, but not a single flower in sight. I even lost count of how many orchids I accidentally stressed out before learning what they truly need. But here's the good news. Your orchid isn't broken. It's just waiting for the right care, and chances are you're missing one or more of these 8 gentle, natural fixes. No chemicals, no expensive gadgets, just simple, kind adjustments that work with your plant, not against it. So grab your favorite cup of tea, get cozy, and let's help your orchid find its bloom again. You've got this, and I've got you. Fix number 1. Give your orchid the right light. If your orchid isn't blooming, check the light first. Orchids, especially Phalaenopsis, need bright, indirect sunlight to fuel flower production. Think morning sun through an east-facing window or filtered afternoon light from the west. Avoid harsh south windows unless softened by a sheer curtain, and never tuck your orchid in a dim corner. Healthy orchid leaves should be a light, grassy green. If they're dark green, your plant isn't getting enough light to bloom. Too much direct sun? Leaves turn red or yellow and get crispy. Light is your orchid's energy source. Without it, no blooms. Try moving your plant to a brighter spot for 2 to 3 weeks. Often, that gentle nudge is all it takes to spark a new flower spike. Be patient, observe, and trust the process. Your orchid isn't lazy, it's just waiting for the right signal. Fix number 2. Create a temperature drop at night. Orchids love routine, but they also need a little seasonal nudge. In the wild, cooler nights signal that it's time to bloom. You can mimic this at home by giving your orchid a 10 to 15 degree Fahrenheit nighttime temperature drop for 2 to 3 weeks. Aim for daytime temps around 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit and nighttime lows of 55 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. A draft-free spot near a window, not directly on a cold sill, often works perfectly in fall or early spring. This cool down tells your orchid, hey, it's time to make flowers. Avoid blasting it with AC or heaters. Gentle, natural shifts are best. Don't do this during active blooming or right after repotting. Wait until your plant is in its resting phase with healthy roots and leaves. Consistency matters. Try to maintain this rhythm for at least 10 to 14 days. Many plant friends are amazed when a flower spike appears just from this one simple change. Nature knows best, and your orchid remembers its roots. Fix number 3. Stop overwatering. Let roots breathe. One of the quietest bloom blockers? Overwatering. Orchids aren't like thirsty pothos. They're epiphytes, which means in nature, they cling to trees with air flowing around their roots. When we drown them in soggy moss or dense soil, roots suffocate, rot, and can't support flowering. Water only when the potting mix is nearly dry, usually every 7 to 10 days, but always check first. Stick your finger in, or better yet, peek at the roots. Healthy orchid roots are silvery white when dry and bright green when wet. If they're brown, mushy, or smell sour, it's root rot. To fix it, gently rinse roots, trim the dead parts with sterilized scissors, and repot in fresh orchid bark. Use a pot with drainage holes and never let it sit in water. Remember, underwatering is easier to fix than overwatering. When roots are happy and breathing, your orchid can focus energy on blooming, not just surviving. Fix number 4. Use proper orchid potting mix, not regular soil. This one surprises so many plant friends. Orchids hate regular potting soil. It holds too much water, blocks airflow, and smothers their roots. Instead, they need a chunky, airy mix like fir bark, sphagnum moss, used sparingly, or coconut husk chips. These materials mimic their natural tree perching habitat and let roots dry between waterings. If your orchid's been in dense soil or old broken down bark for over a year, It's time to refresh. Repot after blooming ends using fresh orchid-specific mix. Gently remove old medium, trim dead roots, and nestle into a clean pot with drainage. Don't pack it tight. Roots need wiggle room and airflow. And skip the decorative glazed pots without holes. Clear plastic pots with slits are actually ideal. You can even reuse those Dollar Tree cups. When your orchid's roots can breathe and stay healthy, blooming becomes possible again. It's not fussy, it's just asking for the right home. Fix number 5. Fertilize only at the right time. Less is more. Fertilizer won't force a bloom, but used wisely, it supports one. Many plant friends think more food equals more flowers, but orchids prefer a light touch. Never fertilize during dormancy, when there's no new leaf or root growth. Instead, feed only during active growth, spring through early fall, with a balanced, diluted orchid fertilizer like 20-20-20 at 1/4 strength once every 2 to 3 weeks. Skip feeding in winter or right after repotting. And always water first. Never apply fertilizer to dry roots. A gentler, natural option? Use diluted compost tea or worm castings tea monthly. But remember, fertilizer is a supplement, not a solution. If light, water, and temperature aren't right, extra nutrients won't help and may even burn roots. Think of feeding like giving your orchid a vitamin boost, not a meal. When everything else is aligned, that little nutrient nudge can help push a spike into full bloom. Fix number 6. Respect the resting phase. No stress allowed. After your orchid finishes blooming, it's not done, it's recharging. This resting phase, usually 6 to 9 weeks, is sacred. During this time, your orchid is gathering energy for its next bloom cycle. But if you repot, move it around, or change its routine now, you'll interrupt that process. Keep care consistent. Same light, same gentle watering, no fertilizer. Don't cut the flower spike unless it's brown and dry. Some orchids rebloom from the same spike. Place it in a calm spot, away from drafts, pets, or high-traffic areas. This is also the perfect time to inspect roots and plan a post-rest repot if needed. Think of this like your orchid's nap time. It's not lazy, it's preparing. Rushing it equals delayed blooms. Honor the pause, and your plant will reward you with stronger, longer-lasting flowers next time. Patience isn't passive, it's powerful. Fix number 7. Boost humidity gently. No misting overkill. Orchids come from tropical forests where humidity hovers around 50 to 70%. In our dry homes, especially in winter, that's a shock. Low humidity stresses your plant and can halt blooming. But don't go overboard with misting. Wet leaves overnight invite fungus. Instead, try gentle, consistent humidity. Place your orchid on a pebble tray filled with water. Pot sits above the water, not in it. Group it with other plants, or use a small humidifier nearby. Aim for 40 to 60% humidity, enough to support healthy transpiration without creating damp, stagnant air. Avoid bathrooms unless they have bright light. Many are too dark. And never mist in the evening. Always do it in the morning so leaves dry by nightfall. If you see wrinkled leaves or slow growth, dry air might be the culprit. A little moisture in the air goes a long way in telling your orchid, you're safe. You can bloom now. Fix number 8. Be patient. Some orchids bloom only once a year. Finally, plant friend, your orchid might be right on schedule. Many Phalaenopsis bloom just once a year, typically in late winter or spring. If yours flowered last February, it may not bloom again until next year. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Orchids aren't like grocery store flowers. They follow natural rhythms. As long as it has firm leaves, healthy roots, and steady growth, it's thriving. Keep up your gentle care. Avoid drastic changes and trust the cycle. Sometimes the fix is simply waiting with love. Document its journey. celebrate new roots or leaves, and know that every quiet season is building toward the next bloom. Your patience isn't wasted, it's part of the healing. And when that spike finally appears, you'll both be ready. If even one of these fixes helped your orchid or gave you hope, please give this video a thumbs up. It tells YouTube this matters and helps other plant friends find their way back to blooming joy. And hey, drop a blooms in the comments if you're giving your orchid a second chance. I read every single one, and your stories inspire my next video. If you haven't already, hit subscribe for more gentle, chemical-free plant care, especially for the hopeless cases we all believe in. Remember, every wilted leaf, every bare spike, every quiet season, it's all part of the healing. Your plant isn't failing. You're learning together. Until next time, keep your hands in the soil, your heart open, and your orchids dreaming of blooms. With love and roots, Lily.